I didn't get a chance to film this whole thing, so I'm kind of jumping in halfway through. The young fellow's going off to university and he needs a guitar today. So I don't usually do rush jobs like this, but it's a really good customer, really nice guy, and we want to get this done for him. So missing a little bit filming wise, but as you can see, it's kind of an Epiphone J200, and I've got all that soft plastic inlay masked off so we don't scratch it. The second time was 600, and I'll bring it in for a closer look. There was quite a bit of discrepancy, as you know, at the neck joint. Now, I'll show you when I pull this thing apart. I've already got the compensated nut blank cut out, so I'll bring you in for a closer look when we get on the home stretch with that. Just a quick word to Calvin from Texas, one of the latest GPS purchasers. I know, Calvin, you were looking at getting a die grinder. Just a word of warning, you want to adjust the air on the die grinder so it is not infinite torque. So if I do this, if I push down, it stops. You don't want that much torque. The other thing is, we've got plastic binding here. You really got to keep the tool moving. Don't linger over that plastic or you'll burn through it. Well, that's not just for Calvin, it's for all you guys, but here we go. So I triple taped over this shadow pickup so I didn't have to pull it off to do the actual fret dress and leveling. So now I've got my J200 reusable fretting guard. So these are the guards that you get in your kit. Not a bad idea to actually do what I just did, which is, you know, just mark. I know it's kind of obvious at a glance, but you know, mark Telly, Strat, Les Paul, 335, etc., etc., and then you've got a guard you can use over and over and over again. Quick wipe with some lemon oil, wipe it on, wipe it off. Really just kind of cleaning up that residue. So I had the guitar kind of jacked up like this because I needed it to be dead level while I filled in that chip in the soundboard. Now, we're on the home stretch. Let's get some strings. Okay, this is for you Patreon guys. These are the blanks that you guys get. And this is why I leave them that long, because in this case we need to make a new saddle because there isn't enough thickness in this saddle to intonate that guitar. So this is a saddle that came out of the guitar. I put that curvature in the ledge of the saddle, use that as my kind of template. So now we'll shape the crown. The other issue with this saddle is it was kind of sloppy in the slot. It was kind of leaning forward. So we're going to get a beautiful press fit with this. So we're going to need to take this down considerably. shape that crown now. And that leaves us tons of real estate to intonate this thing. We've got that thickness now for a nice press fit, not too tight. It does need to rest firmly on that pickup. So now we need to round off the ends. So let me show you how I do this. Okay, back to the guitar. So based on the values that we started out with, I could see how flat those notes were. This is the compensated saddle, and this is where we're starting. So let's do another tuning check. When we did our check, 7th and 19th fret, this is what we ended up with. So the low E string was 8 cents sharp. It's got to come way back. The A string too. The D, although we've moved it quite a bit forward, it was only 2 cents sharp, so it's only got to come back a little bit. The G is right at the very front of that compensated saddle, and it needs to come back 4. So there's no way this guitar would have intonated with that skinny little saddle that they had in the bridge. The B string has lots of room to come back 2 cents, and the high E is right on the money. Back to do a little more scraping. In order to get a clear read on where the highest point is, I'm just rubbing that pencil across the top of the crown. So the highest point is where we make our adjustment from. So just to keep us on track, I'm going to mark the center of each of the strings so we know where we're supposed to take the material off. So this was our next stage of intonating. We brought that low E right to the back. We brought the A back quite a bit. The D had to come back 4 cents, and that's what I took it back. In fact, what I'll do is I'll mark a line, because I'm going to clean this saddle up now. I think we pretty well got it. We'll do our final check. So that is the sort of topographic map that we have on the focal point all the way across that saddle now. So I'm going to clean this up now. We're going to string it up again, and we'll check the tuning one more time. Okay, that's what we got now. We got it really close that time. So just that A string's got to come back 3 cents. And then, and only then, we're on to the compensated nut. And this is the wrap up. So this is the cantilevered compensated saddle. The low E is going back as far as it can possibly go. There was no way that within the confines of the original routed slot that G string or the D string would ever be in tune. The B was just at the leading edge, and the high E was just beyond the leading edge. There was no way around it with this guitar. For it to play in tune, which it plays perfectly in tune, and you're going to hear it in a second when I play it at the studio, these alterations needed to be made. At the other end, now these are an 11 to 52 custom light string, and these are the compensation values for this scale length. So for the first time since this guitar was manufactured, it will play flawlessly, perfectly in tune. And of course the action is way down from where it was. You need a vice grip for a left hand to play this thing the way it was before. Now it's silky smooth, perfectly in tune. Let's bring it into the studio, check it out. I did have to fast track this one. It had to get done today because the young fella's off to university and he's taking it with him, and he's leaving a distance tomorrow morning first thing. So I didn't get to show all the detail that I was hoping, but I think you got a pretty good gist of what went on here to make this thing perfectly in tune. Let's have a listen. So first of all, there's our compensated nut. And that is the final compensated saddle. Frets are dressed, edge dressed, as you saw earlier in the video. So I'm just going to play through this a little bit and let you hear it. So I've got this. So as always, I'll just kind of let that play and then blow over top. I got to find a pick here somewhere. I'll just use my fingers for now. Okay, here we go. some sixths.